Hi everyone. Okay, so today is our Feng Shui Q&A, weekly Feng Shui Q&A, and we are doing it about bathrooms. So there were a couple of questions that came in, which I'm going to touch on as we go through. But I thought what I would do today is actually almost like a little lesson and a review of how to do it, how to figure out what's going on and if there's an issue, and to adjust it. So I've created some slides here. So I am going to get these up. Just bear with me. Okay. All right. So okay, so we're going to review bathrooms as a whole. The questions that I received, one was about directions because they follow the compass school, and they wanted to know if, I think basically it's like a macro micro. So if they figure out what direction their bathroom is and it's in a certain sector, does that mean within the bathroom itself it also has sectors? I don't know in the classical feng shui, if that's in the compass school, if that's what they practice. That would mean you're basically baguaing the bathroom and you're baguaing the whole, the entire home. In Black Sect Feng Shui that I practice, we do that. So you can, yes, you can bagua the entire home, figure out where your bathroom is, but then also within the bathroom, if you wanted, you could bagua that bathroom itself on a room basis. So the macro, the large scale, and the micro, the small scale. But today we're going to talk about, very simply, we're going to talk about it from the Black Sect tradition. So we don't use the directions, and I'm going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about what you need to look for. So what are some of the potential issues, that might come up for you, or even not even issues, just simple things that you need to know, to think about, because I find this question comes up a lot and it causes a lot of stress. And the idea is that the bathroom is obviously a spot where there's drained energy. So people read a little bit about this in Feng Shui and they know that a toilet is bad. A toilet drains energy. A bathroom is all about waste. It's about elimination. It's not a positive vibration. So it doesn't really have water. Water is a great thing to have, flowing, nice, beautiful water. But when you have draining elimination water, it's a little less positive, obviously. So the vibration, the energetic vibration of a bathroom is not the most auspicious. So this causes stress for people. And people figure out that, oh my goodness, my bathroom is in my whatever area or this area or blah, blah, blah. And so what we're going to talk about today is quickly we're going to talk about some placement and which ones you need to worry about and which ones you could sort of do simple adjustments for. And most of them, I'm going to give you adjustments that will work for most. And we're going to talk about what those adjustments look like. And then we're going to talk about the actual bathroom itself and how much that can play. That can play quite an important role. So I'm hoping to get through everything today. If I don't, this will be part 1, and then there will be part 2 next week. Okay? So first we're going to talk about the placement of a bathroom. Now that would mean we're going to talk about the bagua. There's other placement issues that you can think about as well. One being the fact that if it's near a front door. So if you walk into the home and the first thing you see is the bathroom, and it is directly in line with the front door, that's a placement issue. So things that we would do around that would be to make sure you keep that bathroom door closed. And then we would also move the energy around so it doesn't drain and go straight to the bathroom. And this is something I've talked about before. Hanging a Feng Shui crystal will work. Hanging a wind chime, not always everyone's number one choice, but a Feng Shui crystal hung between the front door, halfway between the front door and the bathroom door is a good quick fix. So that's one placement issue that is not about the bagua, but I'm going to focus just on the bagua because that is the most questions I get. Okay. So this is where you sort of say, oh my gosh, my bathroom is in my wealth area. What do I do? So first you have to establish where is a bathroom in your home. So in the feng shui that I practice, this is the Black Sect Western school, as a Western-based school. You orient your home not according to the compass directions, but where the main mouth of chi is, or the main door that of the home, of a bedroom, of an office. So it's often referred to as the 3-door method as well. And it means that your front door will fall into one of these three areas at the bottom here. So either self-knowledge, career, or helpful people. And it could be kind of between both, but generally, you know, homes are usually, designed in a way where they don't sort of halfway, they'll do one third, or you'll have it, if it happens to float between two, that doesn't necessarily matter, but this is where it's going to land. It's going to land in one of those three. And in that case, once you do that, you have a floor plan of your home, then you can go ahead and lay the others down, the other areas. I've used circles here because it is one way to do it very quickly, sort of give you a sense. And it also gives you something that's really important that we're going to talk about, which is the idea of between guas and those sort of no man's lands between or when they split over, which is important to know for bathrooms. So if you have a floor plan to scale, start with that, you can do this, okay? Don't get hung up on what's missing right now. Just lay this down and see. So this is what I've created here based on a floor plan, a very simple floor plan. Yes, there are missing areas, which I've accounted for. We're not going to talk about that today. That's a totally different conversation. Today, we're just going to talk about the bathroom. So you can see the bathroom, and I've got the corresponding BAGUA on the side here. You can see that the bathroom is in what is called children, often referred to as creativity, but let's focus on the fact that it's children. It's a metal gua, and it's not just about children. It's mostly, I like to think of it as productivity, as fulfilling things, as bringing things to completion. So it's a pretty important area if you are trying to really finish things off and get things done. It's also important when you think about your children and as well. So, it's one, you would adjust it. It's well within it. It's not floating between. So if, let's say, your bathroom was here or your toilet was here, it would be less of an issue, but it's in the middle. So you will want to adjust it. Other areas that you would want to adjust, and also this is where you sort of find out where things are and then you ask yourself questions. So it might not necessarily be an issue. You might sit there and think, okay, is there an issue with this? Do I wonder, is there a drain? Do I feel like there's a general energetic drain in areas of me finishing things, completing things, or around my children? So then if you're like, yeah, you know what, there is these things that are coming up. So I definitely think I need to look at it and I will adjust it. So other areas that you'll want to adjust, again, every area is a possibility you'll want to adjust based on what's happening. One thing to think about is if you have two toilets. So what builders will often do is they'll share the plumbing. So what I see frequently is two toilets in one area. And that is I don't want to say red flag because again, I don't like to freak anyone out. Everything is adjustable. That is something where I would definitely say, okay, look, you have two toilets in this area. That would, for me, think that there's something there and then sort of ask the question and then adjust. So the other areas people get hung up on are wealth, where, the draining away. So that's, obviously an issue. Relationships, which is the partnership, which is here, which is the bedroom here. And then one that I think is probably the most important that if you have this happen and it is in your home, apart from all the other areas around, is actually the center of the home, which is this circle here, and it's the Tai Chi in the center. So that's the center. It's not its own gua. What it is it's the center. It's the Tai Chi. And what that means is that it impacts all other areas because all other areas touch it. So if you do have a bathroom in the middle of your home, and it happens to be in the center area, then yes, you will definitely want to adjust it because that depleting energy can impact other areas, okay? So that gives you a quick and dirty sort of review of finding how each of these things kind of like where they land. So now I'm going to talk about how you can adjust them. So if there's more, if you guys have questions about, let me just double check here. If you guys have questions about the BAGUA, just let me know. But again, I have lots of videos around that. So be sure to ask. And I will, I'll put a link into some of the videos I have. So that was just so you can get a sense of when people talk about, oh my gosh, my bathroom is in XYZ area, that's what they're talking about. Okay, so how do you adjust and you make sure that your bathroom is not an energy drain. So what can you do? And obviously the big one is not only drains like water drains, but the toilet is, you know, what people think about. So I'm keeping it pretty top line because I want people to be able to do this fairly easily without overthinking it, and keeping it simple, because that's what this group is about. It's keeping Feng Shui simple. You know, when you want to get into more details and really sort of dig down deep in some of the other ones, that's when you would do some trainings and get to really sense of it. But this is effective. So like, I want you to understand that just because it's simple doesn't mean that it isn't effective. So, okay, so the 5 elements. The 5 elements is an energy system within Feng Shui, and actually within Chinese medicine and, you know, other martial arts and other Chinese arts as well. And it is the 5 elements. Each of them represents a different type of energy. It's like a character. It doesn't, yes, it can be deliberately like, oh, wood, that is wood, but it's not necessarily like that. It's not about the wood itself. It's about the energy that that wood has. So it's about the signature, the chi, the energy that that brings. And with that, it's the type of feeling and characteristics that you get from that. So for instance, from wood, there are 5 elements: fire, earth, metal, water, wood. We're talking about 2 specifically today because when you think about a bathroom, what would you think would be the dominant element? It would be water, right? There's a lot of water flowing. Often bathrooms are white, and that's the metal element. So you have those 2 that are generally dominant in a bathroom. So it's also, and also the water is draining away. So what you want to do is you want to slow that drain away. You want to slow it down, and the best way to do that is by using 2 elements that directly impact how water is. So one is the controlling element of water, and one is the exhaustive element of water. So these are 2 elements because they all work together in harmony, and when you add a little bit more of one here and a little less of one there, it actually creates an energy shift. And you have to be very mindful how you do it. But when you have an imbalance, you want to fix that, right? So in a bathroom, you would say you have an imbalance of water and possibly metal. So adding wood is great because wood drinks the water. So water makes wood grow. It's the one that produces wood. And in that kind of, just think of a mom, a mother helps her child go. It's tiring, right? So the water creates this wood, and in that creation process, water gets depleted. If you want, and then the other element is earth, and that is a little bit more direct, and it's literally blocking or stopping. So earth blocks water, which makes sense when you think of riverbanks, and, you know, if water flows and you put a big rock in front of it, it has to go around the rock. It can't go through the rock. So this is what you're doing here, is you're trying to slow the water down, either tiring it out or using it to feed a plant there. Or if you can't put a plant in your bathroom, you know, the images of wood, like a tree, like these are pictures of trees. For the earth, it could be the material itself, the actual, you know, it's a crystal here, but you know, you could put a bowl of rocks. I mean, if they're pretty rocks, it's good. The other way to use the 5 elements is with shape and color. Don't look at the shapes in this one, just look at the color. So for color, the wood is greens, but also teal and like mid-tone blues and tealy blues and greens. For earth, it's yellow. So it's yellow and earth tones. So both of those, that's another way, which is a really easy way to bring that into your space, right? So if you're like, okay, my bathroom is in my wealth gua, one thing that you want to think about is, and if we go back up here, the wealth area, which is that purple square there, is actually, each of those squares has an element attached to it, and the element that's attached to it is wood. So by adding in the wood element, you're doing 2 things. One, you'll drain that draining water, you'll help stop that draining water, and also you'll support the gua itself. So it's kind of a win-win. So, you know, for a wealth, that's why I always say when people are like, oh, well, what do I do if I have a bathroom in my wealth area? Well, there you go. So wood element is the one that's great for that. And for relationships, it would be earth, because that is the element that is attached to that area of the BAGUA. So it not only blocks water, but it also supports kun, or the relationship gua. So color. Shape is another way you can bring it in. The shape for earth is actually square. The shape for wood is very long, tall, thin, column type shapes. So shape is actually a very powerful way to do it, but people I find psychologically really connect with color, and I find that that's really a great way to do it, and it makes you feel, because it's all about setting the intention and you yourself feeling 100% behind what you're doing, and color is often a great way to do that. Okay, so we're going to get through this. This is good. So the last thing I will say, and I will take away here, and then I'm going to answer the questions. The last thing I would say about a bathroom is when I said the condition of the bathroom. So don't forget that your bathroom should be bright, it should be beautiful, it should be clean, and it should be functional. So if you have a leaking faucet, fix the faucet. If you have a toilet that's constantly draining, fix the toilet, because you're compounding the problem. In this picture here, you see this is a beautiful, bright, clean bathroom. They've added in, there's a little plant there. I think this is, this is an opportunity to add in a little bit of color in my mind. I mean, I think this is the intention of this picture, is this, it's perfectly clean, but, I think that there's an opportunity to add in some art somewhere in there, and the art around this, depending on the gua, the wood element would be great. So that's just something to think about, that when you have this bathroom, that adding art in your bathroom is a really simple way to use the colors of the elements we talked about, but also the materials, like a tree or wood. So that is it for the slides. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to answer the questions that I had. And I think I touched on one. Somebody had asked about how they use the elements within the bathroom. So again, if you're talking about the classic and the compass school, I can't really help you in terms of that, the directions, but what I can say is generally you can do the micro and the macro. So yeah, whatever directions you have within that bathroom, you would still use, or in the Feng Shui I practice in Black Sect, you would stand at the front door of the bathroom and you'd find the wealth area and the romance area, and you'd find each of those areas based on the front door of the bathroom, the main entrance to the bathroom. So same idea. The other question somebody had about mirrors, again, talking about the directions. So, So yes, different schools of Feng Shui are going to have different adjustments. There is the idea that if your toilet is reflected, you've doubled your toilet. So yes, that is correct. But if we started worrying about that, we wouldn't have any mirrors in our bathroom. So again, making the adjustments as well, you'll double the adjustment. So think about it. If you put a plant on the back of the toilet tank that you're reflecting, or above it, or a piece of art above it, you've now doubled that as well. So you're doubling the adjustment. So think of it that way. Mirrors are used in Black Sect Feng Shui in order to absorb or draw the energy up. It's a different application, and you would use a specific type of mirror. The simplest adjustment that is Black Sect is making your bathroom disappear. And that is, again, using a mirror. So you're on the door outside of the bathroom, you would place a mirror on that whole door, and it would energetically make the bathroom disappear. Again, being mindful of what you're reflecting. I often just say, if there's a wall there, you can put art. That's great, because you'll double the art. So that is, in a sense, in sort of a nutshell, what you need to know. Know about bathrooms. B, quick and easy ways to adjust bathrooms. And you can dive deeper into the different guas, but at this point, just what I've given you is enough for each of the different guas. So I hope that was helpful. And next week, I will not be going live. I'll be skipping a week because I'm going away to the cottage. And I will see you the week after, okay? And then there's lots of exciting stuff coming up. Angie and I are going to be doing some lives, and we're going to be turning the cameras on ourselves, and we're going to be showing our altars, our offices, and we're going to talk about paint colors. So that's a whole series that's happening once I get back from vacation, okay? All right, thanks everyone. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you in the group. Bye.